Welcome back to Retro ReWire. My name is JJ. We're back for another In the Hunt at the Momotaro Kingdom in Hon-Atsugi, Japan, Kanagawa. And guys, this is going to be the end of the trilogy, and we're going to end things here on the, what I would say bite for bite. This is hands down the best aisle that they had to offer. You know, we're talking about PlayStation 2, PS1, Sega Saturn, Dreamcast, PC Engine, Neo Geo, all sorts of great consoles and games, mostly games. But here we have the Neo Geo Pro Controller. I was referring to this one as the kidney bean, but I guess it's the Pro Controller, the joystick. And then we have a Super CD-ROM. This is coming in at 63,360 yen, and I think that was the most expensive console that they had at this location. And then here we have the Dreamcast games, lots of great stuff here. And you know, being in this aisle was actually very cool, because it's been a while since I've seen so much abundance in software, especially with like the Dreamcast, and they had a great selection here. A few titles that I, well, mainly one title that I want, which is the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, but I wasn't able to get it because I blew my budget on that Neo Geo CDZ. But here we have Capcom vs SNK 2 for 3,400. We got NBA 2K1 with Allen Iverson on the cover there. And then we had this. What is that? Capita 2? I'm not really sure what this is, but it's always great to see titles that I haven't heard of before, and this is one of those. Not sure what it's about, but it could be some kind of horror type of game. And then here it is, the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure by Capcom. This is definitely a title that I want to add, but like I said, I blew my budget. And we have, what is this? Super Puzzle Fighter 2X. That's kind of an expensive game. I believe that was online only. And then here we have Project Justice. I used to have this way back in the day, but I had the North American variant. Kind of regret getting rid of that one. And then what else do we have? We have Code Veronica there, Evolution, Sonic Adventure, all sorts of great stuff for the Sega Dreamcast. And then we're going to make our way into the Sega Saturn. And again, this aisle, or this section, which is about, well, a meter, maybe 4 feet, something in between that. Fully loaded, and I didn't explore it fully, but you know, there's definitely a lot of titles just kind of hidden in there. And let's just start at the top. We have all these versus games, as well as Vampire Savior. Here we have X-Men versus Street Fighter, 10% off on that one, and looks like the base price is 9,000 yen for those. 49.50 for Vampire Savior, and some of those do have discounts. And then we have the Samurai Showdown 3 and 4 bundle pack. And then look at this, King of Fighters 96, 95, and I believe there's one that includes 97 as well. But very cool to see that. And then we have Tenchi Muyo. I used to watch that cartoon way back, or that anime way back in the day. We got Real Bout for the Sega Saturn. That's another great entry. And Guardian Force just kind of chilling here. Look at this, 22,220 yen. I have that on the Switch. But then we have Chaos Control. Now this is like a light gun type of game, if I remember correctly, and I kind of want to try that out. It just looks so like so crazy. Then we have Gunbird and X-Men Children of the Atom. I was actually playing this the other day, and the Dreamcast port is so better than nothing though. Then we have Alien Trilogy. This is another one that I have, and I haven't given it much time. And then we have Initial D. I heard a lot of great things about that racer. And then we have the standalone version of Vampire Savior, which is a freaking great game on the Sega Saturn. Especially, you know, well, you need the 4 MB RAM card, but that really spruces things up. And then we have Street Fighter Zero, Street Fighter Alpha, The Warrior's Dream, I believe was a subtitle in the States. And then we have Deep Fear. This was one of the first import games that I got way back, like in the late 90s. And then we have Dynamite Deca, or Die Hard Arcade. I used to love playing this one in the arcade. And I actually did have this for the North American version. I found it at a flea market, actually, way out in deep Eastern Oregon. That was definitely a nice surprise. I think I paid 20 bucks when I found it. But now it could be had for 5,900 yen and 20% off. I believe it's missing something, or it has some kind of damage. Then we have Soul Divide. I have that for the Switch. And then we have Sonic Racing. This is a game that I definitely want to add to my collection because of its crazy soundtrack. The game itself is not too bad, but the soundtrack is fantastic. And then we have Street Fighter Zero 2. That's a great one. Although I prefer Zero 2 2.1. What is it? Or Gold. And then we have Dragon Ball Z. This was actually the first import game that I had. Although I had the best selection, the greatest hits version. And that game is so-so. And then we have Power Drift down there coming in at 7,300 yen. Now, the definitive version outside of the arcade version is the version on the 3DS. It's freaking awesome. And then we have some more Saturn games here. Just a lot of great stuff. We have Metal Black there. And what else do we have here? The Greatest 9, 97. And then Fighter's History Dynamite. I forget that this was released on the Sega Saturn. And I don't know. I don't think I've ever actually played Fighter's History. But it was a bit of a controversial game back in the day. Because of its similarity to Street Fighter 2. And then we have Magic Knight Ray Earth. Now this one's crazy because it used to be a 500 yen game. And now it's, excuse me, it's jumped up in price. And the crazy thing is that this was released in 1995 in Japan for the Sega Saturn. But in the States, I believe it was like 1998. One of the last titles to be released for the Sega Saturn. So quite a big difference there. And then, yeah, Magic Knight Ray Earth. Next to that, we got Metal Black. I do like this one, and I believe it's a kind of like a quasi-sequel to Darius. And then Langrisser 5, The End of Legend. That's a long-running series, although I haven't played any of them. And I wonder if that's more of like a strategy RPG type of game. And then we have Rockman X3 for 5,200 yen and a 20% off. Looks like there's some damage to the manual. X3, I don't really remember X3 too much. And then here we have the Mega CD. I'm currently deep involved on a restoration project for a Mega CD Model 1. Once I get that bad boy up and running, you know a video is coming. But yeah, there's a few titles on the Mega CD that I'm definitely interested into trying out. Captain Tsubasa is not one of them, unfortunately, but here it is by Tecmo. And it looks like it's kind of like an RPG type of game. In fact, I think it is. I remember seeing a video on it some time ago. And then Fighter's History Dynamite for the Neo CD. See, that's why it pays to look at all these games. We have Night Trap here. It pays to pay careful attention. And then we have Road Blaster FX. I believe, I don't know if that one was released in the States, but we have Lunar Eternal Blue, 20% off. Freaking nice cover there. And this has an awesome cover, Lethal Enforcers too. Look at that. Man, that looks like an epic adventure. And then we have Shining Force CD for 2,100 yen. And Star Wars Rebel Assault. I believe that Shining Force CD is a compilation of the Game Gear releases, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure what that is. And then we have 3x3 Eyes. That's another long-running series, but I don't think it's seen any new entries in the last few years. But anyhow, here we have Game Gear and Sega Mega Drive along with a few clone systems. But I gotta say, like, the Mega Drive has some of the best covers coming out of Japan. And then here we have the Neo Geo AES. Now what you're gonna see here is a lot of like the most common games for the AES, but still there's some good ones. Here we have 7,400 yen for KOF 96 just for the cart. And we'll have a closer look at those AES games, but first we'll take a look at the CD releases. And then we have Crossed Swords. This was a great game, and I actually beat that game, but I played it on the Nintendo Switch, which is a great conversion by Hamster. And that was Sam Show RPG. Then we got Part 4 there, 10% off. And then KOF 99. I definitely want to get that for the Neo CD because of the awesome arranged soundtrack. Then we have The Last Blade 2, which was a little bit pricey. And then we have the original The Last Blade. And then this is like a demo disc, I believe. And then Real Bout again. Look at that price, 1,200 yen. That's not too bad. And with the spine card on one of them. And then we have World Heroes Perfect coming in at 2,400 yen, and that may be the best entry in the World Heroes franchise. And then we have Samurai Spirits with its freaking awesome cover. Freaking love that cover. And then here we go, AES. We got Garo Densetsu Special, Fatal Fury Special, and then Part 2. 20% off on that one. And then here we have Samurai Spirits 2. 10% off, 4,300 yen, and it looks like you get a little comic strip there. And then The Art of Fighting 2. Now this game is so difficult, my goodness. You know, just fighting like the first character in story mode, whatever, is like fighting the last boss. And then here's Samurai Spirits again with that amazing cover. 10% off on that one, not too bad. And then we have 32X games just kind of chilling up above. What do we got? Space Harrier. What's that? Cyber. It's a fighting game. I forget the name. And then we have Virtual Racing Deluxe. I really want to try that out on the 32X. And then Star Wars Arcade for 1,900 yen. And that could be a golf game. And then we had Afterburner there. And a few Game Gear games. There's that Shining Force. I believe that's the one that was released on the Mega CD. And then we'll make our way into Mega Drive. We had Quackshot there. I'm not sure what this is. We got some Sonic stuff. What do we have? Some sports games. And then Darius Extra version. And look at that cover. I'm telling you, the Mega Drive. Some of the best covers. And then we have Aladdin there. I should have pulled that one out. But here we go. What do we have here? NBA Pro Basketball. Bulls versus Lakers. Yeah, love it. And then what is this? World of Illusion? I believe that's what that is. 20% off. I do like those Disney games. Oh, I did. Look at that. Aladdin. Totally forgot that I pulled it out. And what else do we have here? Gunstar Heroes coming in. Look at this price. 10,800 yen. You get 30% off because it looks like there's some damage to the cart maybe. Then Chiki Chiki Boys by Capcom. That's also in one of the compilations on PlayStation 2. Then we have Double Dragon 2, The Revenge. 12,000 yen. Wow. And then Sonic the Hedgehog 3 for 6,160. Now that one you don't see too often. And then we have Super something. Not really sure. And then what is that? Joe Montana's Football, kind of in the stacks. And then look at this small case. And there's a few Mega Drive games, and I think most of them are by Sunsoft that just come in those tiny cases. And then look at this, Robinson's Basketball. That's freaking awesome. The Admiral. And then what is this? Chomakai Mura. This is a freaking awesome cover. Or Daimakai Mura. And look at that. It gets even better when you flip it around. Freaking love that cover. I need to add that game to my collection. I freaking love the Makaimura series. Yeah, look at that. 1988, reprogrammed by Sega. So this was definitely an early title. I wonder if that artwork is official Sega, or by Sega, or if it was Capcom. But anyhow, let's go into the PC Engine. And we'll also take a look at the 3DO. But I guess before anything, we'll take a look at these games. We have Afterburner and Star Wars. And look at that. Star Wars Arcade is the same price as the loose cart. But this one you get the box. Although it did have some kind of note there that it has some kind of damage. And then we have KOF Round 1. And then what is this? Beast Busters. I definitely want to play this. But I'm probably going to opt on the collection for the Nintendo Switch, as that's a part of the Volume 1 collection. But I definitely want to play this. And one day I hope to play Beast Busters, the light gun game. I think I played it at an arcade in Idaho like years and years ago. But since then I have not seen it anywhere else. Then just kind of some random games there for various platforms. And then we have our Wonder Swan titles and 3DO. And then we got NFL Madden. One day I'm gonna get that. We got Overdriving, which is known as Need for Speed in the West. And Night Trap. This is the 3DO version. In fact, let's go ahead and compare the covers. You know, for me, I gotta say the 3DO cover is more convincing. It's more mysterious. The backside is a little bit of a drop, but the front cover on the 3DO is freaking awesome. And of course, we have Dee's Diner Director's Cut. And the original release, I freaking love the D games. Part 2 is great too. We have Sprig in there for 10,600 yen. Far East of Eden. What do we have? Ray Zamber 2. I wonder how that shooter is. I hear mixed things about it. By Data West. And then, what do we have here? Yeah, Dragon Spirit. I have that. Great game. Some kind of Formula 1 type of racer. Not sure what that is, but I do like that guy's gun. His little zapper. What else do we have? Oh, this looks like a horror game. By Hudson Soft too. Not sure what the heck that is, but it looks pretty crazy. Then we'll just make our way through the PC Engine games. What else do we have here? Let's see. You know, I added the PC Engine to my collection once again this year, but this time I'm gonna stick with it. But you know, I'm definitely not gonna go for a complete collection. I'd never do that for any platform. But I believe that's Kato and something. I hear a lot of good things about that game. And then we have R-Type 2, 10% off there. And then the original release, or at least the first half, part 1. And then we got these loose ones up above. But anyhow, let's make our way into the PlayStation 2. A lot of great games here for the PS2, like that SNK versus Capcom SVC Chaos. I freaking love that game too. I like the sprite work, especially the sprite work they have done for the Capcom characters. But a lot of good stuff here too. What else do we have here? We got the Taito compilation, and then this Valkyria Profile 2, the artifact box. I wonder what's in that thing. It's kind of big too. I believe the original one also got a release similar to that. And this must be some kind of visual novel, I'm guessing. And I have no idea what this could be. My guess is some kind of like dance game. From just by looking at the cover, but looks like I have no idea what that could be. Haven't seen that one before though. Then we have, what do we have here? The Monster World Complete Collection. It also got another collection for the Switch, which is probably the route that I would go for just because it's less expensive. And then Bassino, I see this one quite a bit. And yes, I do like that cover. We have Grandia 2. This was a great game. I played the Dreamcast version. I'm not sure how the PS2 version holds up against the Dreamcast. But then we have Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex. That's a pretty cool cover. And what kind of game is it? Some kind of action game. I do want to play the one that's on PSP because it's like a first-person shooter type of game. And then we have Shinryu. This game, 5,900 yen, and its sequel. The original one there is also on Sega Saturn and PlayStation, and they're definitely pricey. Then we get that value pack, Samurai Spirits Collection, the Sonic Omega Collection Plus. A lot of great PS2 titles. And then we're gonna make our way into the PlayStation 1. And looky here, what do we have here? Is this a Persona? Something if 50th anniversary pack. 50th anniversary? My goodness. And then we have the Joy-Con. And I think it might be bundled with Ridge Racer 4, which is very fitting. Then we have Snowboarding Kids Plus. Didn't know that there was a Plus version. And then Killer Bass. Look at this. This is kind of like totally like maybe an homage to the Biohazard cover. But I've seen this one before, and I'm glad I got to see it again just because it seems so interesting, this one. This could be a great game. I'll need to look that one up. Definitely interesting, that one. And I do like that cover. And next to that, look at this Gabal screen. Just another game that who knows what this is about. And you know, that's the thing about the PlayStation. It just has such a rich and diverse library. It's crazy. I mean, look at that. It even got X-Men vs. Street Fighter. Granted, it's not as great as the arcade, but still. Then we have Dodonpachi for 9,130 yen. And, oh, I forget the name of that game, but Cho Anuki, something like that. And then look at that. More Neo Geo CD kind of just mixed in. Then we have Night Striker. I definitely want to pick that one up one day, but gotta have that spine card. It's just how I roll. A lot of great titles in here, just kind of all mixed in. What is this? Monster Farm, something like that. And then Persona 2, the deluxe pack for 8,360 yen. You get 10% off because there seems to be some kind of damage to the manual, perhaps. But I'm guessing all those items are included in that. And then we have Symphony of the Night, Dracula X. Great game. And then we have this thing. Look at this. You could store your PlayStation in it, perhaps, but pretty cool to see that. But guys, that's going to be it for the trilogy. I hope you enjoyed this. There's definitely more content to come, so subscribe and keep up to date with everything. So see you soon. Ciao.